Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. It is the position units draft. Everybody's favorite episode. Make sure you comment, wow, my favorite episode. Let's do it. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. Thank you very much for joining us today. It is opening week. This Thursday, opening day is here. My name is Jimmy. Jake is sitting next to me. We got Trev coming in from California and BBD behind the dish. And before the season starts, we got to draft some units. So that's what we're doing today. Trev, how you doing?
I'm doing great. There's a lot of talk of me dying before the episode started, so I hope we don't do that anymore because I'm feeling pretty good. My body feels all right. There was just some signs, I think, from nature that were pointing that way. But this is, James, one of my favorite episodes to do because I feel like we all win. There's a lot of good units out there in baseball, and we get to talk about them all. Jake, take your headphones off. I want to see your outfit in its full get up.
It's just going to be really tricky because I won't be able to hear you, Trevor, James. Yeah, I'm wearing my snakes. I plan on taking any one of their position groups. Jimmy did note before the draft, only bullpen with a negative WAR last year in the desert. So I'm... Do you believe in bounce backs and regression? I guess we'll see in the draft. But yeah, I got my snakes bucket hat on, which does not pair with podcasting headphones very well. But we're here, fellas. I mean, an iconic Talkin Baseball episode. Like James said, we are streaming opening day, all day, Thursday, with the games. Anthony Volpe will be at shortstop for the Yankees. And yeah, Trev, you said no more death talk, and you brought it up yourself. So that's how we randomly got there. But I think we can put that in our rear view for now, or at least till later in the episode.
James?
Let's do it. Let's draft some units.
The big unit. People forget about that.
How are we deciding who goes first? Because this is always a problem for us.
Well, apparently you won last year, Trev.
Last year's champ.
Do you want?
Wow. Historically, we do random number generator.
I'm more of a random guy.
Okay. Do you remember who you chose last year? We have to have a tweet somewhere, like a graphic out.
Yeah, I think it's also on our normal sheet. It's at the very bottom. There's definitely a graphic.
Talkin Baseball.
Okay. So for those that don't know, you draft an infield, the whole team. Obviously, you're going to talk about the expected starters, but by the end of the year, you get just whoever played those positions, stats and WAR and all that. You're going to get an outfield. Outfield includes DH. Infield includes catcher, bullpen, and rotation. So that is
4 rounds.
4 rounds.
You have the picks.
You cannot have 2 units from the same team.
Last year, BBD, Twins infield catcher, outfield DH Phillies, rotation Mets, bullpen Braves, Trevor Plouffe, Blue Jays infield, Astros outfield, Dodgers rotation, White Sox pen, Jimmy Dodgers infield, Yankees outfield, White Sox rotation, and Rays bullpen. And I had the Braves infield, the Angels outfield, the Brewers rotation, and the Giants bullpen.
Who won? Because I had a couple hiccups there. Sounds like James had a hiccup. You had a hiccup. BBD's whole thing was a hiccup.
I think, I'm
okay.
With Astros outfield and DH, you did well. I think that Blue Jays infield and Dodgers rotation. Jimmy, I think, got a good boost from the Yankees outfield, and especially that one guy. And then, yeah.
Who were the four infields we chose last year?
Twins, Blue Jays, Dodgers, Braves.
Twins were the Mr. Irrelevant pick.
Twins were 10th in WAR last year. Blue Jays were 2nd. Dodgers were 3rd. And then Rays, you said?
Braves.
Braves were 4th.
Can I ask where Red Sox infield was?
We missed the number 1, which was
St.
Louis.
They'll be up there this year. And they were a snub when it happened. I remember that. So
Yeah. I remember we ended it. And we're like, whoa, what happened? What was your question?
Where was Red Sox people last year? All I got that day was, why didn't you pick Red Sox? Why didn't you
and
pick Red
Cardinals.
Sox?
They were
The Cardinals was a known. I was skipping over them.
Red
'cause I
Sox
liked the
finished
Twins.
15th in WAR in the infield last
All
year.
right, all of you were wrong. I was right.
Wow.
And I think I said on the episode, Cardinals would be the smart pick here, but I wanted Twins because I like Gio and Gary, and they just gotten Correa, who's good. They were a fun group to root for.
St. Louis Cardinals fans are sneaky, just as mad at us as Mariners fans. A lot, if we don't talk about them or pick them. So shout out St. Louis and the Rooster downtown.
Shout out to the Roosters.
And the Rooster.
The Rooster.
Downtown.
Yeah.
So you want to do random number to start this off, or how do you want to do it?
Yep. Let's do random number. Here's my pick. I'm
Okay.
45.
Well, now we know your pick.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's a random number generator. What's Jake? Yep. Don't we have to know the numbers we pick?
I'm just
We
saying.
normally all reveal it
If
once,
I
because
choose-
right now we could box
Right
you
now,
out.
Jake would choose 45. I would choose, or 44. I would choose 46, and
you'd be
your
screwed.
chances would be screwed.
Unless it landed on 45.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
77.
14.
23. I think I'm the most boxed there.
Come on, Volpe.
Am I doing it?
Usually.
Okay. It landed on 3.
Okay.
So I go
Beavers.
first.
Oh,
No,
Jimmy's
I chose
14,
14.
right? So
you did max of 100, not max of 3, right?
I did one.
Because I got 57.
I did 1 through 100.
nice.
Why don't you spin it again and get closer to mine?
I believe you.
So
So you have your pick of picks.
I'm choosing to go first.
Confident.
Choosing to go first.
Okay.
BBD, do you want to go second, third, or the wrap around?
I think I will select the second pick.
Wow. Okay. Trev.
I'm going 3. I like 3 hole.
Clean me up.
Well, Jake, you get 2 of the top 5 picks,
What I say when Trevor's done with me.
so that's exciting for you.
And thus, Position Draft is brought to you by Blue Moon. Ooh. I'd have to do a Blue Moon draft after this. You know what I'm saying? That's a double entendre draft.
Whoa.
Spring training is here and almost gone. Baseball is back, and Blue Moon gives that ballpark nostalgia that gets you excited for the season. You guys know Blue Moon by now, and their Belgian-style wheat ale is one of a kind. Get yourself some Blue Moon for opening day. I might have a couple. I might have more than a couple. Get Blue Moon delivered to your apartment. It's 2023, people. Shopping is over. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. Blue Moon, made brighter. Celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado. There's always a link in the description. Thank you, Blue Moon.
Valencia oranges only.
Is that Cali? Are those Cali oranges?
Well, I grew up next to Valencia, but I think that might be a Florida thing. Not a lot of orange grows out there in Valencia.
We'll find
So
out.
Valencia oranges are a type of orange.
That makes sense.
Famed in Valencia, Spain. But yeah, we've got them in SoCal now, maybe Florida too.
All right, you guys ready?
I'm ready. I can take a cat nap for the turn, but I'm ready.
Wow. Okay, I'm taking the Astros pitching with my number 1 pick. So
Rotation
pitching.
or bullpen?
rotation.
Okay.
Although bullpen's a good pick out of them as well if you want that. They're just good. They got Framber, Javier, Luis Garcia, Jose Urquidy, and then McCullers going to come back, Hunter Brown. They got options. I like their depth in case someone gets hurt. And then I like their depth 1 through 4, as well as a rotation. I think they're going to be a good team. They're going to be competing and putting up good stats. Verlander's not there, so it's kind of like a You might say that hurts them, and sure it may, but also I think it's kind of a little bit of a dance to say who's going to step up and fill that spot, and they're all going to do it. So I'm taking the Astros starting rotation with my number 1 pick.
Do you see what I'm doing right here, James?
Stretching?
I feel like that's a little bit of a stretch, the number 1 overall pick. I don't think it's a bad choice. I mean, look, it's the Houston Astros pitching staff. There is depth there. But number 1 overall, I think I might have went somewhere a little bit different.
That's fine. And you should have got the best number closest to 3 there.
I should have, I guess.
And
what was the number 3?
then
That's my number.
You're not troubled at all by my choice here. It won't change your choice. You have the next one, right? No, BBD does.
I have the next one. Astros rotation, definitely one of the draftable rotations on my board.
They were the number 1 rotation last year.
They lost their big guy.
They lost their big guy.
They're also one of the
pick. The organization knows how to pitch. I guess it's going to be interesting. When's McCullers back? And it's a big year for like a Luis Garcia. Like, are you a dude? And maybe he is, because Christian Javier did that last year.
Yeah.
So,
and I looked at if one of the top 4 gets hurt, how much does one of the top 3 gets hurt? How much does it change? And out of the best options, they were the one where I was like, not that much.
Yeah, they'll pitch.
Okay.
So that's how I did it. The injury test.
Okay.
Davis?
I like that. With my second pick, I wouldn't have gone Astros rotation first overall, so this is the team I would have taken had I gotten first, so I'm glad I picked the second pick. I will take the St. Louis Cardinals infield. I think they're just between like ability and then the depth they've got at those positions. I'm excited to have them. They were by far my number 1 unit. They upgrade the offense at the catcher position tremendously with Wilson Contreras this year. They have last year's first and third place MVP. I forget exactly where Arenado finished. No, he was top 3. Tommy Edmonds, a guy we believe in. Nolan Gorman's fully an extra guy. Brendan Donovan, also kind of an extra guy, slated as their primary second baseman for now. They got studs. They've got a good mix of youth and vets. I'm excited to have them.
It's a strong pick. I mean, what Goldschmidt and Arenado did last year on the corner of the infield is sick, and the fact Wilson's now there and Tommy Edman locked up that shortstop job after years of being like, I don't know, who's the Cardinal shortstop? Is it DeYoung? And yeah, Brendan Donovan casually won the utility gold glove and racked up 4 WAR last year, and that's before you get to Nolan Gorman. So yeah.
DeYoung's still around too. Is
St. Louis is a
right
freak
now.
org, man. Jordan Walker got the call. Jesus.
Yeah.
I mean, going from snub last year to getting picked 2nd overall this year, that's a pretty big jump. And I guess that's a testament to what Tommy Edman and Brendan Donovan like coming onto the scene a little bit, because they've really solidified that unit.
Yeah, second base is actually where they got majority of their WAR last year. They were the number 1 infield, and second base was 8.9, where first base was 6.8 and third base was 7.3. Kind of odd, but the combination there at second did them in.
Yeah,
Only negative spot was catcher.
I think that gets cooked a little bit because I think other guys got credit, like from the days they're not playing second base on that.
Yeah,
I think we
they
looked
get
into
knocked.
that last year. Like, I think they forced them into a position, so I think even some of Brendan Donovan or Gorman and Edmund Sats, when they weren't playing second, still get classified as second base. So that's where
where
they're playing other
the
infield
days
positions.
when where
Figure
the
it
days
out,
when
fan,
they're
right?
not
In
playing
exact
first,
science.
those guys aren't playing first and third.
Yeah,
Those positions get knocked down.
kinda.
Yeah, either I don't know which one it is.
Yeah,
but catcher's the only spot where they were negative last year, and they should be.
They were still defending.
Yeah,
not bad.
That would have been my number 1 overall pick, Bieber.
Wow.
So great pick right there. I have a backup plan, and I'm also
There's
going to
options.
choose an infield. This is one I truly believe in. I had him last year. I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays infield. I like young studs. You guys know that. I think Bo Bichette's one of the more underrated players in the game. We're going to have Vlad doing Vlad things. I like at the catcher position, there's not like a big drop-off between your backup catcher and your primary catcher. You kind of have like 2 guys that can go do it. then I'm always going to root for my guy, Matt Chapman. It's a contract year for him. Things are going to go really well for him. And then also on the bench, like I like guys, if somebody was to get injured, Kevin Biggio's there, Espino's there. Like they have the depth also. I think, is it the turf? Do they just go a little bit faster on that turf, even though the infield's dirt? I don't know, but I can't quit the Blue Jays infield. I constantly find myself rooting for this team, not just the infield in general. Like I want to see these guys like show up. Like they've talked a big game and they've done some good things at the big league level. I think it is time for them to take the next step. So I will select my Blue Jays infield with a 3rd overall pick in this draft.
Good choice. Like we said, the number 1 and 2 infields from last year off the board in Cardinals and Blue Jays. Birds.
Bo Bichette has led the American League in hits the past 2 seasons. That's kind of a crazy stat because I don't know. He's at the top of the lineup and he plays every game, but still, you're like, wow, that guy does that. If he's got another gear, I think he's 25 now.
It's insane.
And Vladdy kind of came down from his MVP year, and he might even tick back up. So, yeah, that's a strong pick.
Jake, 2 infields off the board.
Yeah.
You have 2 picks coming up. Are you going to snag your 3rd infield spot, or are you going to go elsewhere?
I have a few infields I'm pretty comfortable with, so I think
Same.
I can.
I thought that was a draft. I thought that was a packed unit.
I like what the guys did. Like I think those two teams are.
I think those
Our
were
first round eligible.
I think those were my top 2, and if I didn't get one of those 2, there was a lot that were 3 to 6.
So what I think I'm gonna do. Ooh, I do have a sleeper pick there. You know what? I have 2 outfields I really like. I'm just gonna have to pick between them. And I think I'll go chalky with it, and I will run it back from last year. I will take the Los Angeles Angels outfield. The fact that it's outfield and DH, you get Trout and Ohtani. Taylor Ward had his little breakout last year. Maybe he can build upon that. Even if he can't, they brought in Hunter Renfroe. The guy's like an auto 30 homers and plays really good defense. So I will take my Angels outfield. It'll stink when they trade Shohei and Trout this year, but I believe in it, and I'll bet on those guys. Although there's a couple other outfields out there that are nice, but they're the ones I believe in.
Injuries and all that last year hurt them. They finished outfield and DH 8th in MLB WAR-wise.
I had identified them as a first-round draftable group.
But I don't think that number has Shohei in it.
His DH numbers?
Yeah. You
Why?
said that was outfield, right?
Outfield and DH.
Oh, okay. You just said outfield. That's
No,
why
I
I
didn't.
asked.
I said outfield and DH.
Okay.
3.8, 8.6. 3.8 from the DH and 8.6 from the outfield.
Unfortunately, I don't get Shohei's pitching stats. Not part of this, but good hitter. So,
Mike Trout, Shohei Ohtani. I love the Hunter Renfroe love because I feel like he's one of those guys that needs more love. And that's what when we first set out on this show, we said, let's the guys that don't get talked about a lot, let's talk about them a little bit. Hunter Renfroe is one of those guys. Taylor Ward, everyone in camp liking this guy, thinking he can maintain that pace he started. Maybe not maintain the pace he started last year at, but like something of that gist. And I think you got a nice pick there with your first overall.
What do you have for their outfield WAR?
Fangraphs has it at 3.8.
As a team?
I know Trout missed a lot of time, but
Yeah, Trout still had a 6 WAR season last year. So
they had the most people play in the big leagues last year with under replacement level statistics.
Yeah,
so maybe they
true
just got dragged
were they
down.
all corner outfielders?
Bring down Trout.
I don't know.
So,
That seems a little off to me, too.
8.6 on WAR last year. And then DH 3.8. Yeah.
Okay. Because, Trout was 6, Ward was 4, Ohtani 9.5. That's where we'll get in the books.
I think it comes down from other guys, no?
Yeah, but you can only bring
it's
it
not
down
going to come
so
down.
hard. We'll get there. Love my pick.
I like your pick too.
And I will go with a sneaky I guess you don't get really value from the bullpen. So I will go with, I think I'm going to go with a starting rotation. And the question is which one, right? Like that's the whole game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Mariners.
No.
Sounds like Trev was interested. We've seen Luis Castillo come to full-blown fruition as he's found a home, a pitcher's ballpark, and competitive baseball. Robbie Ray, Logan Gilbert, George Kirby, with some Marco Gonzalez and Chris Flexen depth. I really like what Seattle's done, and I think they've had to build a roster that can compete with Houston. And I think safe-wise for the rotation, I think they're the play. So, Seattle.
I like that rotation a lot. I was looking at.
West Coast, baby.
I've been cherry picked twice now on my picks. That's okay. I do like this rotation a lot because of the depth. Not only at the big league level, they have 6 guys that they're going to run out there most likely throughout the year. Flexen being the guy that's kind of swingman, if you will. But then they have a bunch of guys coming up as well. So like there's just a ton of depth. And we also have to pander to our Seattle Mariners fans so they'll yell at us. So that's another reason, Jake, that it's nice to take them in the second round.
I've never pandered, but I will see them out in July.
Forgot about that.
Double checking Baseball Reference to see if they calculate it differently. They have, because they do calculate it differently, but see if it's wildly off. They have the Angels outfield WAR, all outfield for last year as 6.9. And the DH is 3.2. So I think it's the same. So I don't know what gets it
more there. Yeah.
Well, 8.6 is more than 6.9.
You'd added the D. We'll figure all this out, people. Let's get the draft.
That's why we usually skip that part.
All right, Jesus. That's how we calculate who wins, no?
Yeah, but I think it's okay.
It's also little vibes and.
I'm just reading the numbers off the sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Is this low vibe? Let's not be low vibe.
It's not.
Let's
Trying to
go.
get away from that a couple times because the numbers get messy. We did this
Here's
at the
what I'm
end of
thinking
last
with
year.
my pick. Here's what I'm thinking with my pick. The outfield situation, it's like not like when I'm looking at everything, it's not that great. I dig the Angels pick, but then every time I go to an outfield, I'm like, there's some people there that I don't really want. So I think that's like the worst unit group in the big leagues right now. Is that even a thing? Do you guys believe that? When you look at that, do you feel the same way?
I feel like every team's got like a question mark.
I see what you're saying. You think there'd be more full outfields.
Yeah. But in saying that, I'm going to draft an outfield.
Okay.
Because there's one guy here that I just can't quit, and I think they'll figure things out. When Dr. Smooth comes back, I really like this outfield. I'm going to take the Houston Astros outfield and their DH because their DH is Jordan fucking Alvarez. And they also have that Abraham Lincoln MFer out there in right field. So I like the Astros depth here, and like the ceiling, I guess, is very, very high for the Astros outfield. And for that reason, I'm taking them. It was between them and the Braves for me, and I just think Jordan puts him over the top a little bit there. There's a world where he had 60 homers this year. So Astros second round pick for me in the outfield.
It's a good one.
It's good. I thought you might do some gamesmanship because I really like 4 outfields. And I thought with Jimmy having taken Houston's rotation, there could have been a way you guys could have gamed him out of one of the good outfields IMO. But with what Jordan and Tucker are going to do, I mean, you land in a good place.
Yeah, and Trev, this will probably help you. I had just decided I was going to go for them this round, so I'm doing a little scrambling.
We're snakes.
So you were able, you get one of your snakes back.
The only
mode.
other thing I was thinking with this outfield grouping is what is the Padres outfield going to look like once Fernando comes back? And he's only out for 20 games or whatever, 20 days, whatever it is. I think once you see him there, they could have persuaded me, but Jordan's the X factor for me here. I think he's just too good to pass up.
Really good. And all right, I think I've landed on my pick. There isn't fully a gamesmanship strategy because I think Jimmy couldn't take either of the 2 picks I'm considering here. So I'll take Astros bullpen off the board. They're one of the teams you blindly believe in them to figure out that bullpen. They've got studs. Ryan Presley's as good as anybody. They just gave Montero the deal.
I can't
He's
take
good.
them.
You can't take them. I couldn't do any gamesmanship.
Well, you can take someone else and just get them after I'm done.
I'm taking a rotation in the next round. You also can't take them. So these are the 2 picks.
Touche.
So I couldn't think of a way to game it more. So I'm taking Astros bullpen. Just blindly believe they're a team that can figure it out midseason if these guys aren't doing it. So
they're gonna.
These guys will do it. Though.
And these guys, I don't see a guy I don't believe in.
I thought about taking them. I went with bigger WAR because I think as a bullpen you can only rack up so much. But Presley, Montero, Abreu, Neris, Stanek, Maton,
and they'll get some other dude.
It's as close as you can get to penning in a good bullpen.
Is Ryan Presley, if you had to pick one guy to come in and get you a save, and you just were he's going to do a good job, he's not going to walk guys, he's going to go after guys, he's on the short list of closers that you'd put in the game.
Yeah, Clase,
yeah,
unbelievable last year.
There's a couple guys that pure arm talent. I think you'd end up taking Presley.
Sure,
but what Presley's done, when we were getting into those changeup stats during last year's playoffs, threw it 4% of the time during the year, and then he was throwing it in 3-2 counts and stuff. You're you're a sicko, dude.
Yeah, he's and the guys that are setting him up are absolutely filthy too. And again, I don't know if check stats on this. People in my mind, I just don't see them walking anybody. They just don't give free passes. And that's the way to win in the bullpen.
Clean innings, Jim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and clean innings.
I like the way
said.
they manage them.
Yeah.
Dusty.
I'm taking the Braves infield.
It's a good one.
They lose Dansby, but they get Matt Olson without the shift, and they get Sean Murphy behind the dish. And Arcia, he'll just probably be a good, awesome Brave anyway. So
Grissom will be up again at some point, right?
Could.
They finished in the top 5 last year, and they're really good. Ozzie healthy.
Yeah.
Not
healthy Ozzie will definitely help out a lot. Austin Riley's just turned into a monster. And then Orlando Arcia, I think you're right, James. I think he's just going to find he's going to be Jake likes to say, a piece of the puzzle. Just fits right in there. Doesn't have to do too much. Just kind of has to play his game. So I think you might see a little uptick there offensively, as there's literally zero pressure for him to perform offensively right now. And then, you bring in Sean Murphy and you have Travis d'Arnaud. So that's one of those things where you get both catchers as well. I like it.
Year 2 of Matt Olson in that division too. Circle
and the
that
nice
up.
City Connect jerseys.
Yeah.
The A. I like them.
And then I'm taking the Yankees outfield. They got Judge. They finished second last year with Judge and basically Judge alone. Stan hit 30 home runs last year, and it was a bad year for him. So I think you can, if you think he's going to do better, you got Stanton and Judge. And then if Bader comes back, they think in 3 weeks, he gets a lot of defensive WAR. And they don't have Gallo and Hicks rotating 140 games. So hopefully the fringes improve, and Stanton going up helps the come down of Judge wherever that falls, because he's not going to do what he did again. But it's a pretty safe pick, I think. So I'm taking the Yankees outfield plus DH.
I like that. Didn't Boone say that Stanton's going to be playing some outfield 40 games? They're putting a number on it. I listened to your guys' interview with Aaron Boone, which snaps for you guys. That was amazing. 40 games out there, huh?
I mean, it was cool the way Boone defended it. Is a lot of just people that talk about baseball say it, hey, it's good to keep the body active and, play in the game and not just sit stiff for 3 innings and take your at bat. So yeah, that would be nice. And if our guy Oswaldo gets a lot of run in the outfield this year, he racked up a 2 WAR in 44 games, basically just on defense. So if he's out there and he can make some plays, you can get some points that way.
I like it. It is a safe pick. But the ceiling is very high as well. Low floor, high ceiling.
Yep. Who's next? BBD?
My turn. No, it's BBD. Shit.
Nope.
My turn. Oof, I'm going to a rotation, like I said. I think the pick is a repeat pick for me last year. I took them number 1 overall, and this year I'm getting them in the 3rd round. I'm taking the Mets rotation. Verlander, Cy Young guy last year. Scherzer, not going to doubt him to be a candidate to get another one. Senga's fascinating. Looks like he could be pretty good. And they've got depth. Carrasco, Peterson, McGill. Quintana will be back eventually, longer than you'd like, but they're good.
That's
What
do you got, Trev?
Dalton Feely's number 1 ranked rotation. And yeah, I mean, they're stacked. This is the rotation side of this. I think everyone wins. Like, there's no one that's going to have a bad rotation in this.
You're going to end up with a good one. And if they need to add there, Uncle Steve's not afraid to go trade for a guy. He will approve that trade.
Why are you looking at me like that, Jake?
You look at the camera. It's a show.
Wow.
You know what? You look like, you talk about me dying. You look like you were dead just looking at the camera like that.
I mean, I'm full bonnet. I'm
You
full,
are. Can
I'm
you
full
even
bonnet.
hear anything?
No.
Your senses are.
No, that's why I'm staring at you. Is I'm doing my best to listen because the ears are over. You're
not a great hearing guy.
Bad hearing anyway, so I'm looking at those lips, Trev.
Here's what I'll say about the Mets rotation, and I really like this aspect of it. You have so much experience there, like the notes that are going to be shared between Verlander and Scherzer, and even Senga. He's coming from a completely different place, like putting these minds together, these really, thoughtful, long-term baseball minds together. I mean, who knows what they're going to start doing? Is freaking Scherzer going to start doing a ghost fork? Like, stuff like that can happen as the season goes on. Pitch grips, all this stuff that you can do now so quickly. I'm not saying they're going to, James. You really looked at me like, fuck off right there. But you know what I'm saying? Pitch grips and everything like that can happen very quickly in today's game because of all the technology. I love the experience, and I think that's going to play into the season.
Just need Scherzer to stay healthy. I think Verlander will. Senga, need to see what he is. First time through everything. His first time through the whole league is probably going to be awesome. I remember when Tanaka did that. His first time through, like, no one could touch him. He had like a 0.14 ERA or something like that. And then his second time through, he got beat up a little bit. Certain teams figured it out. Certain teams didn't. So when new pitchers come over, I always reserve judgment until he faces teams twice. And you saw that in the World Baseball Classic where Japan threw a guy that was probably worse than some of their other starters, but the U.S. players hadn't seen him before, so they struggle with him.
I'm up. You guys have all taken your rotations, right? Beavers, can you check that for me?
Yeah, but you should take a bullpen now.
I have to take a bullpen now, yes.
Yeah.
I've taken an infield and an outfield. You guys have all taken a rotation.
He's
So
got
I will
it.
take my bullpen now. This one's a no-brainer for me because I wanted this team on my team. So, I would when I'm in Seattle in July, I want the people to be like, good job, bro. You picked our team. I'm taking the Seattle Mariners bullpen. And in the 3rd round, I think this is an extreme value pick. I mean, they have a bunch of dudes out there. I think they were the best unit in baseball last year, according to WAR.
Their bullpen?
Yes.
Well, no.
I know that's a tough one.
They're Dalton Feely's number 1 ranked bullpen, which
They are Dalton Feely's number 1 ranked bullpen, but I just did
According
a
to
preview
the
for the
Fangraphs war, they were 13th.
13th. I just did a AL West preview. I just prepped for that with C. Rosie, and a lot of different articles I read talked about how they were one of the best bullpens in baseball.
Their top is
According to
probably
what?
good. This could just mean that they're long guys or whatever.
They let guys eat it.
Yeah.
You know some of the names out there: Sewald, Munoz, Castillo, Murphy are my favorite name in baseball. Penn Murphy. They have a ton of dudes that can do it, and they've already done it. Last year they had a really good year, so I'll take them in the third round. I think that's like I said, an extreme value pick for me.
Castillo and Munoz back to back, man. That's like no thanks. Like Sewald's nasty and gets you out, but you're like, all right, let's try. Like when those guys are throwing. Remember that? Was that Munoz versus the Yankees when he was just throwing sliders? And you're like, my God, man. Like you got 104 in the chamber and he rattled off like 8 sliders and you're like, you're a sick puppy, dude.
At like 93. Yeah. And the rotation will keep these guys healthy all year long. Like they're not going to override the bullpen because they have the rotation there that's going to, I mean, these guys are not 5 and dive type guys.
The game within the game.
JP Crawford.
All right, Jake, you got to round yours out.
Might pitch an inning this year. I will take, there's a really high risk, high reward bullpen, but I am going to play it safe with the Los Angeles Dodgers. They pitch. They're Houston National League. They had the number 2 bullpen ERA last year, number 1 WHIP. Doesn't really matter who's coming out of there. Evan Phillips kind of broke out. Brewster's still back there. Vesia you've seen all these guys pitch in like big playoff games. And the Dodgers just put them in positions to succeed. And they literally have a special formula with pitching that allows them to make any pitcher good, which really doesn't get talked about enough. So I will take the Dodgers bullpen.
Nice.
Which I think leads us into the final round of the draft, which is brought to you by DraftKings. They are literally the kings of drafts. So if this is something you're into, you might want to look into them. And man, look at this. America's pastime is back. Step up for some season opening action with the DraftKings Sportsbook, and they will give you $5 pregame moneyline bet. And you'll get $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. So you just need to find a winner. You can find that pretty easily. Look at the odds. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and sign up with code TALKIN. New customers can bet just $5 on any pregame money line and get $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TALKIN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
See show notes is a tough one for me. I would always mess that one up. See show notes.
You can get tripped up in there pretty easily. My last pick, I will have to take an infield. Man, there's a few different ways to go about this.
Yeah, who are you choosing from?
Both New York teams still on the board, and you're going to get some good action from them. Los Phillies, a couple injuries here and there. Even the Mariners, who I can't take. I am going to go with, and I'm not sure who's going to be where, when, and how, but I will take the San Diego Fathers. We'll see what goes on with Nola and Camposano behind the dish, but they brought in Bogarts. Machado did everything Arenado did last year. And then Kim and Cronenworth. Like, those guys just rack 'em Willie. Shout out old YouTube. So I will take the Padres infield.
Could have an injury and then Tatis is in the infield.
Right?
And you get everything he's doing.
You got options. Or Rougned Odor, too. So.
Wow. See Tatis hit that back foot homer the other day? That was crazy.
Sicko.
People are going to forget about everything with Tatis as soon as he steps back on the field. He might zoo some balls in right field every once in a while, but dude is so electric. Like, there's no holding that down.
42
Remember
homers.
how cool he was?
42 homers in 130 games last time we saw him.
I hope he's still cool. It'll be so bad if he just wasn't cool anymore.
He was like heading towards being the Family Feud answer for like favorite baseball player.
Yeah. Being good solves everything. Write that down.
Yes. Performance trumps all.
That's
Anthony
the first
Sforza.
Padres unit on the board?
First PU OTB.
Wow. And that means the Astros are not going to get all 4 units. I think we've always had a team get every part of them drafted. I know it was the Dodgers
so.
1 year, but the Astros infield goes undrafted
They
now.
brought in Jose Abreu. Altuve's hurt. That scares
But
you.
gonna be back.
Hensley's going to be a stud.
Hensley's going to be awesome.
I thought they'd still go. But it
They
makes
should.
sense.
Yeah.
Like
If
I said, I think there was a lot of good infields.
Yeah. If I was still picking an infield now, they would still be in my consideration. Just
They'll probably be
Didn't
our
happen.
biggest miss. It's Houston.
We picked every other unit. Like, relax, Houston. Jeez.
no
Is it
one to
Trev?
relax. It is Trev. To
Trev
finish
the
off your
GOAT,
draft.
last pick.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty easy one for me. I have to select a rotation, and you guys left me the Atlanta Braves rotation. Thank you very much. We have this 2023 Cy Young winner in Spencer Strider. Max Fried will finish second, win another Gold Glove. Charlie Morton, say it for me, Jake.
Oh, Charlie Morton. It's been a while.
That guy, along with some other guys. So you're going to have Kyle Wright and Mike Soroka. They're both going to start the year on the IL. But Schuster's looked really good in spring training, and so is Dodd. Schuster's just like 6'3" lefty dude who's just kind of carving. So they have the depth there as well. But I think the top-end talent goes with anybody in the league, and then you have the depth. That makes a perfect play for me. In my last pick, I got these guys. I can't believe it. I think I won the draft.
Be weird if you
awesome.
didn't feel that way.
Okay. Yeah, we did. We did the preview. I think Spencer Strider is my front runner for Cy Young this year.
The stats are a cheat code, man. If he runs
Yeah,
that for a full
crazy.
season, it's not going to be
For
an
a
argument.
2-pitch pitcher too.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
The league might catch up a little bit, but not a lot of
He
it.
might add a third pitch. He might throw a ghost fork. Him and Scherzer.
Stop
fucking
ghost
fork it.
He's against the third pitch.
Yeah, he doesn't want to throw it.
Yeah.
Throw the
why
good
would
pitches.
I throw
It's
my
like, why would I?
why
I've
would
got two
why
good
would I
ones.
throw a third best pitch?
I don't need any friends. I already got two.
Yeah.
He changed his number, I believe, this year. Is he 99 this year? Which
He's
I don't
99
love.
now.
Yeah.
I don't love that aspect.
That's some
of it. I
number
think That's just
regression.
putting a target. That's putting a target, bro. But if there's anyone that could live up to 99, I think it's him.
Wayne Gretzky did good.
He's a little silly. I like it.
I heard a lot of Wayne Gretzky stories over my time in Palm Springs. And
Okay.
Let's hear it.
it's for off.
It's for off.
It's
It's
for off.
Off.
It is for off.
Beebs, what do you need? An outfield?
I do need an outfield. And the more I've thought about it, since my last pick, the more it's clear to me I should draft the San Diego Padres outfield. The top end talent with Soto locked into being an outfield in DH, and with Tatis probably mixing in there as well. Grisham does it as well as anybody with the glove. His offense for the regular season can't be worse than it was last year, so we're going to get some positive regression there, and he showed he still has it in the playoffs. He's a guy you like to watch. And you figure Matt Carpenter and Nelson Cruz with shifts going away, they'll handle the DH spot, and they've got some interesting depth. Jose Azocar, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Interesting minor league guy. Should get a good amount of run this year as well, especially while Soto's out or while Tatis is out. Hard to ignore the top end talent there and go for that on a 4th round pick. And again, outfields, it was hard to fully believe in a lot of them.
Tatis and right and Soto and left. I mean, that's good enough to play with anybody in this unit draft. So I'm stoked for that. Good job, Beavers. That's a great end pick. Dalton Feely's number 2 ranked outfield. Shout out Dalton.
Shout out.
Jimbo.
What do I need? A bullpen?
You need a bullpen.
I guess I'm taking the Phillies bullpen.
Oh, you love that.
I don't know if I
Go
do.
Rays, stop it.
You love going Rays
That's your
bullpen.
pick.
Yeah, but I think they weren't good last year.
Not listed, yeah.
A team you believe in.
I think the Rays had they were 7th in ERA last year, and they were 14th in WAR for relievers as a team. So they also they were all as a group anti-gay. So I'm kind of out on supporting them because that sucks.
Yeah,
So
that did suck.
I'm not going to take them. I'm going to take the Phillies, which I It's so weird just because for like 3 years they were the worst bullpen in the history of all of baseball. So it's just kind of a mind fuck. But they got Dominguez, Alvarado, Kimbrel, Soto. Like they got good arms back there. So I guess I'm taking them. I want to take the Guardians, but I don't like Karinchak. I love Clase. So I think I like the Guardians like top 3 guys, where the Phillies have more names.
Can't claim to know a lot about their guys after those two.
I already took the Braves infield.
You took the Yanks.
And I took the Yankees outfield. I like the Braves and the Yankees bullpen better than the Phillies, but I can't take those.
Yeah, couldn't take Astros.
So I kind of
like the Cardinals at all? Did you take any cards?
He's already made his pick. People don't be trying to help him out right now.
Yeah. I mean, Cardinals and Phillies.
Those Twins.
They're similar.
Bullpen.
Twins bullpen, no.
Having a bunch of them in front of me now. Yeah, Philly.
Wait, what was that?
I like
scouting
Phillies.
report?
What?
No.
Who are the snubs? Congratulations on our draft. Snubs, I got to say, like the Twins outfield. I get it, people. I get it. There's other ones that are flashier, but I think like defensively, we might put up some WAR there, which is going to help. And if Byron Buxton plays 130,
Let's get to him.
go off.
Did anyone take
I'm just shouting out my Twins.
Yeah. Did anyone take the Braves outfield?
No, they were close.
Because
they were who I was choosing up against the Padres.
If Harris and Ronald Acuna, those two could carry it on their own. I think the deep cut there would have been the Mariners. Like if Julio, Teoscar, if the Kelnick breakout is real, there's something fun there.
Pollock's still mashing lefties.
Astros got 3 units selected. Braves got 2. Padres 2. Mariners 2.
Padres 2 were both at the end there, snuck in.
Yeah. Mets 1, Angels 1, Dodgers 1, Yankees 1, Cardinals 1, Mets 1, Blue Jays 1. That's got to be the least amount of Dodgers ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have to have had multiple the other years, both of them.
No Orioles units.
The kids.
Well, what's the team that's going to be really mad at us that they got no units drafted?
Every team.
The White Sox, deservedly so. The White Sox usually get someone drafted, not this year. I don't know how mad they'll be. Twins.
I think Guardians infield. I mean, Jose Ramirez, Andres Jimenez, Ahmed Rosario, for what all those guys did last year. You add Zunino and you put Naylor at first or Josh Bell.
Infield's tough, though.
But infield's tough.
They're probably the infield that's most affected by just the way we do this draft, because Bell or Naylor are going to DH most days, like one of those two, and technically that doesn't count for what we're doing.
Yankees, do the Dodgers have anyone picked?
Astros infield is the only infield that's got snubbed.
You could see the Yankees or the Mets.
Well, Yankees, I don't know. There's a lot of
bodies though.
There's a lot of bodies. That's why if you're going on pure WAR,
they got
racked
depth.
up WAR last year.
Brewers rotation. People are going to see that as a snub because they got some high-end talent there as well.
They kind of burnt me last year, though.
Yeah. Did the Dodgers have one team pick, the bullpen? That's it?
Bullpen,
Just their bullpen.
Their starters could have gone too. They're gonna pitch. It's not as sexy, but I thought their rotation would go.
Their bullpen went?
Mets only get their rotation off the board. Somebody's gonna say something about how they didn't get much consideration for other spots.
Rangers starting pitching. People are excited about that, but they haven't gone.
You want to hear a stat I'm about to share on Baseball Today about the Rangers?
Yes.
If they win on opening day, it'll be the first time they're over 500 in 3 years.
Fuck.
That's tough, bro.
A lot of pressure.
There's always a team that's under 500 and then makes a playoff spot. Could be you.
Another group, and maybe it's Rowdy fans, but I think they also very much have an argument. The Toronto Blue Jays, like Manoah, Gossman, Bassett, and then if you get anything from Barrios and Kikuchi this year, which both guys kind of had nicer springs, I think they have an argument.
If they only had like one of those guys as your coin flip guy, like one more like lock, then I think they're for sure off the board.
Also, the Yankees starting pitching, I understand there's some guys injured there, but like that was like
Yeah.
their calling card this year. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, they got two guys.
Joe's McFly says he's going to be pitching for them this coming April,
the
so
fear.
that's kind of tough for the ranking there. But once those guys are back, I mean, how long is Rodon going to be out for?
He's already doing a bullpen, so I think he's going to be
Okay.
back middle of May.
They're saying
That could end up looking really
early
bad
May,
for us
yeah.
because I think they have a chance to really rack it up
Well,
when healthy.
that's still three guys that you would like be excited about.
if they had one of those guys ready to go on opening day, technically they're not going to be out long in theory, so they'd still have gotten drafted, I think, but
Yeah,
it's just hard to do right now.
Matt Blake, their pitching coach, 4th in ERA, starters, 3rd in bullpen. That either of those could have went, and you'd say that's fine.
We're just kind of believing in it for a few years now. They've just been good.
All right.
All right.
There you go. There's the draft.
Rays rotation. Jake and I kind of fell in love with them a few weeks ago.
Who?
Rays rotation.
Yeah.
Glass now will be back
Yeah, they're good.
eventually.
They pitch.
Shout out Mariners. You know, that's what I
Always.
always say.
Yeah.
Always.
See you
Tell us
later.
what else we missed. And subscribe.
Subby.
Still on that USA train.
USA.
See what Kershaw did yesterday? Struck out Trout 3 times.
I didn't get a call to old Trouty. Look at you, bro.
Cut.
Get the ball out of here. Leave this alone.